Sebastian was already annoyed as he was stuck in traffic on the highway. He had been there for a while, and the car wasn't moving at all due to the heavy traffic. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun and to ride in a one-horse. He looked over and saw two kids suddenly appear and start singing. As they sang, he noticed that they looked very much alike. "Merry Christmas," the twins said in unison to Sebastian. He didn't know why, but he felt something strange when he saw the two kids. "What's your name?" Sebastian asked the two children. "I'm Lucas," introduced a boy with blue eyes. "And I'm Luke," said the other child with brown eyes. Sebastian took out 2,000 pesos for the twins, and their eyes sparkled with joy when they saw it. "Wow, thank you," they said together, smiling. Sebastian was about to speak when he heard the sound of car horns behind him. The traffic started to move, and the twins waved goodbye and ran to the sidewalk. "Bye, handsome big brother." "Thank you again," said Lucas. "Bye, big brother," said Luke. Sebastian smiled and waved back at the kids. He quickly drove his car forward but couldn't get the twins out of his mind. "Mommy, mommy." Lucas and Luke called out to their mother, Thea, when they got home. Thea frowned when she saw her children coming from outside. "Were you out caroling again?" she asked. "Yes, Mommy," the twins said happily, looking at their mother. "How much did you collect?" Thea asked. The twins took out the money they received and placed it on the table. Thea saw the coins and some whole bills. She thought that was all the money her children had received, but she was surprised to see that the twins had more. They took out more bills from their pockets. "Wow, that's a lot. Who gave you all this?" Thea asked, astonished. "We saw Ma'am Anna earlier, and she gave us 100, Lucas said with a smile. "And then Mrs. Biso gave us 500, Luke added. Thea listened to her children's stories. In their neighborhood, her kids were well loved because they were kind and talkative. Many people were curious about the twins' father. "Who gave you the 1,000 pesos? Thea asked. "The handsome guy in the car," said Luke and Lucas together. "You went all the way to the highway?" Thea asked, surprised. "Calm down, Mommy. We were with our friends," Luke said. "It's still dangerous. Something might happen to you there," Thea said to her children. "But we came home safely, Mommy," Lucas replied to their mother. "Oh, you two. Go wash up so we can go to bed," Thea told her children. The twins smiled and immediately followed their mother's instructions. Thea closed the gate and door. This was their usual routine as the twins often went caroling, especially with Christmas approaching. Sebastian saw the twins caroling again. He parked his car on the side of the road and watched Lucas and Luke. He still didn't understand why he felt such a strong connection to them. "Hi, big brother." The twins called out to Sebastian, waving at him. He waved back and smiled. "Have you collected a lot of money?" Sebastian asked the twins. "Quite a lot, but we won't count it yet," Luke replied. "It's getting late. You should go home now." "Where do you live?" Sebastian asked while looking at the twins. "Our house is nearby and Mommy knows we're caroling," Lucas said politely. Sebastian became curious about the twins' mother. "Are you sure? I can take you home if you want," he offered. "No, it's okay. We're fine here," Lucas said to Sebastian. Sebastian nodded and said goodbye to the twins. When they got home, they found their mother waiting for them. "You went caroling again, didn't you?" Thea said to her children. "Yes, Mommy. We also saw the handsome big brother again, but we didn't ask his name," Luke told their mother. "Is that so? Is the person who gave you 1,000 pesos last time from around here?" Thea asked. "Yes, he offered to take us home, but he seemed in a hurry, so we didn't go with him," Lucas explained to Thea. "If you see him again, invite him to eat at our house, or maybe he can join us for Christmas Eve dinner," Thea said with a smile to her children. "Okay, Mommy," Luke and Lucas said together. Days passed quickly and soon it was Christmas Eve. Everyone was busy preparing food for the celebration later that night. Lucas and Luke were thrilled when they got home. "Mommy, Kuya Seb is coming tonight," Lucas excitedly told their mother. "Really? Did you see him? Is he alone for Christmas Eve?" Thea asked. "Yes, Mommy. He said his parents are in Italy, and he's alone in his big house," Luke said to Thea. "Is that so? I'll cook more food for our dinner later," Thea said with a smile and returned to the kitchen to continue cooking. At 10 p.m., Thea finished cooking and went to the living room to check on her children. She found them asleep, tired from the day's activities. She kissed her children's foreheads and carried them to their rooms. "I'll wake them up when it's close to midnight," Thea said to herself and returned to the living room. She looked outside and saw her mother Evelyn, arriving with her older sister, Ella, her husband Mark and their children John and Julia. "You didn't tell me you were coming," Thea said to her mother. "We wanted to surprise you," Evelyn said and hugged Thea. Thea also greeted and hugged her sister. They chatted in the living room while the kids ate. "Have you seen the father of the children?" Evelyn asked Thea. "No, I haven't looked for him. The kids and I are doing just fine," Thea replied. "I'm just worried that one day the children will want to find their father," Evelyn said to Thea. Thea's older sister, Ella, reassured her. "Mom, Thea is doing well with the twins. Besides, we know what happened then. If the kids ever look for their dad, Thea knows what to tell them," said Ella. "That's right, Mom. I'll be the one to explain to the kids if it ever comes to that," Thea told her mother. Their conversation was so engrossing that they didn't notice the time. Thea woke her children so they could all watch the beautiful fireworks together. "Merry Christmas!" They all greeted each other. Thea was happy to be with her family, and she could see the joy on her children's faces as they played with their cousins. "Where's Kuyaseb? Why is he taking so long?" Lucas asked after they finished eating. "Yeah, I thought he'd be here when I woke up," Luke said while looking outside. Thea noticed her children's sadness and approached them. "Is something wrong, kids?" she asked. "It's just that Kuyaseb isn't here." "He said he'd come," Lucas answered. "Yes, we've been waiting for him, but he's not here yet," Luke added. "Maybe he's just running late, kids. Besides, did you tell him where our house is?" Thea asked. "He can easily find our house, Mommy. Many people know us and he can ask our neighbors," Lucas replied. "Yes, Mommy. I even told him where our house is, so I'm sure he can find us," Luke said to Thea, who was looking at them. "Let's just wait a bit longer. Maybe he's busy with something," Thea said lovingly to her children. However, Sebastian didn't show up, and the twins eventually fell asleep while waiting for him. The next morning, Lucas and Luke woke up feeling disappointed because Sebastian didn't come to their house. "Kuyaseb didn't come to our house," Lucas said with a pout as he and Luke frowned. "I don't like him anymore." "He said he'd come, but he didn't," Luke said. "Yeah, it's a shame that Kuyaseb didn't come. Mommy didn't get to meet him," Lucas added. "Aren't you mad at him?" Luke asked his twin. "I'm just disappointed because he said he'd come," Lucas replied to Luke. "I thought he'd be here when I woke up, but he's still not here," Luke said. Their mother, Thea, entered the room and saw the twins frowning. "Why do my kids look so sad?" Thea asked. "Mommy, we're sad because Kuyaseb didn't come last night," Lucas said. "Yes, he wasn't here last night, and we thought he'd be here when we woke up, but he's still not here," Luke added. Thea stroked her children's hair. She knew they had high hopes for Sebastian's visit, so she understood how they felt. "Don't worry, kids. Maybe Kuyaseb was just busy. Let's go eat together, and don't forget to say goodbye to your grandma before she leaves," Thea told her children. "Okay, Mommy," the twins replied in unison and went down to eat. "Hi, kids." Luke and Lucas looked around when they heard someone greet them. They saw Sebastian getting out of his car and approaching them. The twins were outside, ready to go home because they knew their mother was waiting for them. "What's wrong?" Sebastian asked when he saw that the twins didn't answer and seemed out of mood. Luke and Lucas were still upset with Sebastian for not coming to their house on Christmas Eve. "Kuyaseb," Lucas said, "you didn't come to our house. We waited for you." Sebastian remembered the twins' invitation to their house but couldn't make it because his parents unexpectedly arrived. "I'm really sorry about that. I was about to leave when my parents suddenly arrived, and I celebrated Christmas with them," Sebastian explained. The twins' eyes sparkled when they heard Sebastian's explanation. "So you had someone to be with in your big house," Luke said. "Yes, because your parents were there," Lucas added. "They've left already. They had an important meeting to attend," Sebastian said. "Oh, so you're alone again," Lucas said sadly. "It's okay, kids. I'm used to it and I'm really sorry that I couldn't make it," Sebastian said to the twins. "It's okay, Kuyaseb. There will be a next time," Luke said. Sebastian smiled at the twins and tousled their hair. "Have you eaten?" Sebastian asked. The twins shook their heads and realized they needed to go home. "We need to go home now. Mommy must be worried about us," Luke said. "I'll take you home," Sebastian offered. The twins looked at each other and smiled at Sebastian's offer. "Really? Okay," they replied in unison, smiling happily at Sebastian. "Let's go," Sebastian said to the twins. Luke and Lucas each held one of Sebastian's hands, clearly excited that he would take them home. "Kuya Seb, you should eat at our house too. Mommy will be happy to meet you and thank you," Luke said as they walked. "Yes, please come to our house. Mommy wants to meet you," Lucas added. "Sure, kids. I don't have anything else to do," Sebastian said with a smile. The twins smiled and were excited once again. As they reached their house, Sebastian received a call on his cell phone. The twins looked at him as he answered. "Sir, you have a meeting with the board members," Sebastian's secretary Zoel informed him. Sebastian closed his eyes, remembering the meeting. "Okay, Zoel. I'm on my way," he replied. "Kuya, are you leaving?" Lucas asked. "Yes, Lucas. Don't worry. I'll visit you again. I just have an important meeting to attend," Sebastian said, patting Lucas on the head. "Okay, Kuya Seb," Lucas replied. Sebastian turned to Luke, who was also looking at him. "Don't be sad, Luke. When I come back, I'll bring you a gift," Sebastian said with a smile. "Promise you'll visit us?" Luke asked. Sebastian nodded, and the twins hugged him. "I promise," Sebastian said. "Take care," the twins said in unison as they watched Sebastian leave. Thea stepped out, wondering whom her kids were talking to. "Babies, who were you talking to?" she asked. "Mommy, Kuya Seb was here, but he left quickly because he had a meeting," Lucas said. "Yes, Mommy. We wanted you to meet him, but he had to go," Lucas added. "Thea, don't you notice anything different about your kids?" Ella asked Thea. "What do you mean, 8? Thea asked, looking at her children playing with Ella's kids. "They seem really happy lately. I mean, they're usually happy, but there's something different about their behavior. Did you tell them about their dad?" Ella asked her sister. Thea nearly choked on her food at her sister's question. She had never told her children about their father, and they had never asked. "No, 8. Besides, I haven't told them anything. Maybe they're just happy," Thea said. "I'm sure they want to meet their father. But I understand that you're still hurt by what happened before, and it's hard for you to talk to their dad," Ella said. "It's okay, 8. They deserve to know about each other. But it's Sebastian's parents who are the problem," Thea said sadly to her older sister. Ella stroked her sister's hair. "I'm always here for you," Ella said. "Thank you, 8, Thea replied with a smile, hugging her sister. Then they went to their children to prepare snacks. Meanwhile, Sebastian was anxious, looking at his friend Adam, who held the DNA test results. He had asked Adam to get the results because he was nervous. "You know, man, I'm not the twins' father, but why did you ask me to open this?" Adam asked, shaking his head. "Just open it, Adam," Sebastian replied. Okay. Look at you, you're sweating bullets," Adam said, laughing at his friend's reaction. "Whatever," Sebastian said. Adam opened the DNA test results while Sebastian watched anxiously. "Positive," Adam said bluntly, handing the results to Sebastian. "The twins are your kids, Seb." Sebastian's hands trembled as he took the DNA test results. He had suspected it, but seeing it confirmed was a different experience. "What's your plan now?" Adam asked. "I haven't seen their mom yet. I need to talk to her. I have a feeling it's Thea," Sebastian said. "You guessed? Did you meet Thea?" Adam asked. "Thea is my ex-fiancée. We were together for almost 6 years and were about to get married, but then she left me," Sebastian explained. "I remember. You were a mess for weeks, drinking and searching for her. If Aunt Jackie hadn't sent you to France, you might have gone crazy," Adam said. "I need to talk to her. If she's really their mother, I need to know why she kept my kids from me," Sebastian said seriously. Thea was at the mall grocery shopping. She had left the twins at home with her sister, Ella. As Thea was looking for some items, she spotted a man in the distance. Even from afar she recognized him. Her heart raced as she saw Sebastian also shopping. Oh my gosh, he's back. Last I heard he was in France. Thea thought to herself, turning away. She couldn't let Sebastian see her. Their breakup hadn't been amicable. She had left without saying goodbye, pregnant at the time. Stay calm, Thea, she thought to herself as she walked away slowly. If they met now, Sebastian would have many questions, and she wasn't ready to face them yet. When Thea looked back, she was relieved to see that Sebastian was gone. She quickly finished her shopping and went home, where she told her sister about the encounter. Fate has a way of bringing people together, Ella said. No matter how much you run, you and Seb will meet again. It's a good thing he left. I'm not ready to talk to him. I'm scared. What if he finds out about the kids? What if they take them from me? Thea said fearfully. I don't think Seb would take the kids from you. Besides, Seb is kind. In all the years we were together, I never heard of him doing anything bad. Don't be afraid. Maybe if he finds out about your kids, he'll just want to spend time with them, Ella assured her sister. Thea didn't respond to Ella's words. She knew her sister was right, but she was still afraid because of Sebastian's parents. I finally found you, Thea, Sebastian thought as he looked outside Thea's house. He had seen her at the mall and had hidden, knowing she saw him. He had other plans. He followed her home to confirm if Thea was the twins' mother, and he was right. Thea was the mother of Luke and Lucas. Now he needed to talk to her to find out why she had left him. As the days passed, the twins seemed unusually happy. Thea also noticed new toys that she hadn't bought for them. Twins, come here, Thea called her children. Luke and Lucas immediately came to her. Yes, Mommy, they said in unison. Where did these come from? As far as I know, I didn't buy these for you and they're quite expensive, Thea said. The twins exchanged glances when they heard their mother's question. Kids? Thea asked again when she noticed they didn't want to answer. They're from Daddy Seb, Luke said. Thea's brow furrowed at what she heard. Not knowing why, her heart began to beat faster. Who? She asked again. From Daddy, Lucas replied. Daddy? Which Daddy? Thea asked, feeling nervous. Daddy Seb, Luke answered. Kids, you shouldn't call just anyone Daddy. Not all men should be called that, especially if he's not really your daddy. It's not good, Thea told her children. But Daddy Seb said it's okay to call him Daddy, Lucas responded. Even so, you don't know him well enough. So don't call him that again, Thea insisted. She saw her children's faces fall, and she felt annoyed at the man they called Daddy. What if the twins started hoping that he was their father and then got hurt? Luke and Lucas, if this happens again, I won't let you talk to that Seb anymore, Thea said seriously. He's a good man, Mommy, and he even wants to meet you. But he's busy with work, Luke said. It doesn't matter. I don't want you calling him Daddy. He's not your daddy, Thea said. If we can't call him Daddy, where is our real daddy? Lucas asked. Thea was taken aback by her son's question, feeling something catch in her throat. She didn't know how to answer, fearing her response would make her children hope to meet their real father. That night, Thea couldn't hold back her tears. She wanted a complete and happy family for her children. But how could that happen when she couldn't tell them about their father? I'm sorry, my children, Thea said, kissing them before leaving their room and going to her own. The twins woke up and looked at each other. Mommy is crying, Luke said, looking at their bedroom door. She's having a hard time telling us about Dad, Lucas said sadly. You know what? I think we've already found our daddy, Luke said. I also think that, Lucas agreed. They looked at each other. Daddy Seb, they said together, then quickly covered their mouths to avoid being heard by their mother. He looks just like us. I noticed it when we saw him that night, Luke said. Daddy Seb is kind, and I think he and Mommy have a problem, which is why they don't want to see each other, Lucas added. They need to talk so our family can be complete, Luke said, looking at his twin. Lucas agreed with Luke. The next day, the twins went out and said goodbye to their mother. Daddy Seb, the twins called out. Sebastian looked at the twins and smiled. Adam, who was with Sebastian, noticed the resemblance. They look just like you, Adam said. Hi, kids. I'm Uncle Adam, your daddy's friend, Adam said. Hi, Uncle Adam. The twins greeted him together, making Adam happy. Sebastian was about to speak when his phone rang. He saw that it was a call from his secretary. "It looks like your daddy has another meeting," Adam said to the twins. The twins immediately felt comfortable with Sebastian's friend. When the call ended, Sebastian turned to the twins. "I'm sorry, kids. I have to go, but Uncle Adam will stay with you," Sebastian said. "Okay, take care," the twins replied. Adam knew Sebastian hadn't told the twins about the DNA test, so he kept quiet. "Do you want to eat?" "Let's eat first," Adam suggested. "Mommy might look for us," Lucas said. "Where is your mommy so I can talk to her?" Luke asked. Adam nodded at the twins. "Yes, kids. Since your daddy is busy, I'll be with you for now," Adam said with a smile. They went home together, and as they arrived, Thea came out and was surprised to see Adam with her children. "Adam," Thea said, astonished to see her children's father's friend. The twins looked at each other and confirmed their suspicions. They ran inside the house, leaving a nervous Adam with Thea. "Thea, long time no see," Adam said. "Does he know?" Thea asked Adam, referring to Sebastian. "I don't know," Adam replied, avoiding eye contact. "Why am I even asking you? I know you're on his side," Thea said. "That's not true," Adam replied. "Why are you with my children?" Thea asked. "Seb has a meeting, so he asked me to stay with the kids," Adam explained. "So he knows," Thea said. "Maybe," Adam replied. Thea shook her head. Adam was too loyal to his friend. "How long has he been seeing my children?" Thea asked. She realized it was Sebastian her children called Daddy. "As far as I know, for a while." "But you should talk to him," Adam suggested. "I want to talk, but he only has the courage to be with my children, not to come here," Thea said. "Maybe he's still hurt because you left him," Adam said seriously. Thea couldn't respond, feeling something catch in her throat. "I have my reasons for what I did," Thea said. "Then tell him." "You need to talk," Adam said. Thea didn't speak until Adam left. She looked at her children playing. For their happiness, she would talk to Sebastian. "Daddy Seb, aren't you coming inside?" Luke asked as Sebastian brought the twins home. Sebastian was about to speak when Thea came out. "Mommy, Daddy Seb is here," Lucas said happily. Thea turned to see Sebastian and her eyes widened. "Mommy," Luke said to his mother. Thea and Sebastian looked at each other, unsure of what to say. "Kids, go inside." "I'll talk to him," Thea said with a smile. The twins nodded and followed their mother's instructions. When she was sure her children were inside, Thea approached Sebastian. "How long have you known?" Thea asked without beating around the bush. "Almost a month since I saw the DNA test results," Sebastian replied. Thea was shocked. She didn't know Sebastian had done a DNA test with the twins. "I've known since December and suspected they were my kids. I did the test to be sure and found out they're mine," Sebastian said. Thea was speechless at what she heard from Sebastian. "Why did you do this to me, Thea? Why did you hide them from me?" Sebastian asked bitterly, clearly hurt. "You wouldn't understand," Thea replied, shaking her head. "Make me understand. Why did you do that? You left me, Thea. You just left. When I woke up, you were gone. I thought you wanted us to have a family, so why did you leave me?" Sebastian asked, feeling dejected. Thea looked away, trying to calm herself. "I had to do it, Seb. It was what I thought was best for the kids, for both of us," Thea said. "You're unfair, Thea," Sebastian said, clearly still hurting. "Do they know?" Sebastian asked, changing the subject. He didn't want to talk about the past. "I didn't tell them. I wanted them to know when the time was right. Besides, my kids are smart. I think they might already know," Thea said. "Let's go," Thea said, surprising Sebastian. "Where?" Sebastian asked. "Inside. I'll introduce you to our kids," Thea replied, leading the way inside. Sebastian's heart raced with joy and excitement. When they entered, they found the twins playing on the couch. They both looked up at Thea and Sebastian. "Kids, Mommy has something to tell you," Thea said to her children. The twins listened quietly. Thea and Sebastian exchanged glances before Thea looked away. "Babies, do you want to meet your dad?" Thea asked her children. The twins looked at their mother. "He's here." "Your father is here," Thea said, glancing at Sebastian and nodding toward him. He's really our dad? They asked. Yes, love, Thea said. Daddy, Luke and Lucas said together, hugging Sebastian. Thea turned away, tears streaming down her face as she watched the reunion. I knew it. I knew you were our daddy because we look alike, Lucas said, still hugging his father. I'm sorry, babies, Sebastian said, hugging his children. Stay here, Daddy. Don't leave, Luke said, sobbing. Daddy won't leave, Sebastian said lovingly to his children. Thea quietly went to the kitchen, leaving the reunited family. She was happy that her children finally met their father, but also afraid of what might happen if Sebastian's parents found out. After calming down, Thea returned to the living room and saw the family laughing together. Sebastian looked at her, but she turned away and went back to the kitchen to cook for the four of them. Are you cooking? Sebastian asked, following her. Thea didn't look at him and just nodded. I ordered delivery, Thea. You don't have to cook, Sebastian said. Okay, Thea replied, still not looking at him. Sebastian was puzzled by Thea's behavior, so he spoke again, wanting to know the real reason why she had left him while pregnant. Can we talk? Sebastian asked. We're already talking, Seb, Thea replied. There are things I want to know, Sebastian said. About what? You've met the kids and gotten to know them. What else do you want to know? Thea asked, finally facing him. You finally faced me, Sebastian said, frowning. Just get to the point, Seb. What do you want to know? Thea asked. Why did you leave so suddenly? As far as I remember, we were fine and didn't have any fights. So why did you leave? Sebastian asked. Are you still not over that? Thea asked. I want you to answer my questions. Why did you do that? Sebastian asked, confused. I was pregnant at the time, Thea said. But why did you leave while pregnant? Didn't we want to have our own family? Then you just left. You left me, Thea. You know how excited I was to have a baby, but you left with our children, Sebastian said, recalling the pain of their past. I don't want you to hate them, Thea said, her voice breaking. Hate who? Thea, tell me, Sebastian said, not understanding. Thea hesitated, wondering if she should tell Sebastian everything or keep the reason hidden. She didn't want to hurt him. Thea, tell me, please, Sebastian pleaded. He needed to know what Thea was hiding. You don't need to know, Seb. Besides, you've met the twins and that's what's important, Thea said. Thea, come on, Sebastian said desperately. You don't need to know, Seb. Besides, you've met the twins and that's what's important, Thea said. Thea, come on, Sebastian said desperately. Your parents, Thea said, raising her voice. Sebastian was shocked and even more surprised by what he heard next. You know how much I love you, Seb, but your parents weren't happy when they found out we were getting married. I thought they'd come around and accept our love, but they didn't, Thea said, looking away from Sebastian. Every day I spent with them, they made me feel like I didn't belong in your family, especially when you were busy with work and on business trips. It wasn't a problem for us, but being left alone with your parents was hard. They didn't treat me like a guest. They treated me like a servant, Thea said, tears streaming down her face. Sebastian was speechless, seeing Thea cry and knowing it was because of his parents. You don't know how hard it was for me, Seb. When I found out I was pregnant, I was so happy. I prepared a surprise for you, waiting for you to come home. But your parents found out first. They told me I had to leave you, Thea said, her voice breaking. They didn't believe I was pregnant with your child. They said it was impossible. They were so angry with me because they didn't want to believe we were having a baby. They said horrible things to me, Thea said, crying. Her hands were trembling with mixed emotions. I remember when you came home, your parents were so happy. I tried to be happy too, but it was my last night with you. They threatened me, saying if I didn't leave, something bad would happen to our baby, Thea said, wiping her tears. Thea, Sebastian said, wanting to hug her. It hurt so much to see you so excited to sleep beside me. Knowing it was the last time we would be together, I told myself I had to be strong for our child. I followed your parents' instructions because I wanted everything to be okay. I couldn't bear to see you sleeping peacefully, so I quietly left. When I went out, your parents were waiting for me. They even gave me money, which I refused, Thea said, tears streaming down her face. Thea, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I thought my parents were happy for us. I thought they were okay with us being together, but I was wrong, Sebastian apologized. Do you know how painful it was for me to leave you like that? For our child's safety, I had to face everything alone because you were gone because of your parents, Thea said, wiping her tears. Sebastian slowly approached Thea, who was still crying. He hugged her and stroked her hair. Both were hurting, wanting to forget the past and start anew. After a few minutes, Thea calmed down and Sebastian let her rest. What happened? Did you two talk? Adam asked when his friend returned to the office a few days later. Since their conversation, Sebastian had been visiting his family, but he hadn't told his parents about what happened yet. It's my fault, Adam, Sebastian said to his friend. What do you mean? What fault? Adam asked, puzzled. Sebastian told Adam everything they had discussed, and Adam listened quietly until he finished. I can't believe they did that to Thea. She didn't deserve to be treated like that, Adam said. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been so busy with work, we might still be together. We might even be married by now, Sebastian said, tears welling up in his eyes. It's not your fault, Seb. You didn't do anything wrong. Yes, you were busy with work, but it was for your future with Thea. Don't blame yourself for what happened. Focus on your family now, and talk to your parents so they know the twins are yours, Adam advised. Sebastian thought about what Adam said. He was right, it was good that he talked to him. A few days later, Sebastian visited his family. He hadn't talked to Thea again since their last conversation, so he hadn't told her he wanted them to live in his house. When he arrived at Thea's house, he found Thea's mother, Evelyn, playing with the twins. Evelyn looked at Sebastian and her eyes widened in shock. She grabbed a broom, causing Sebastian to step back. What are you doing here in my daughter's house? Evelyn asked angrily. Ma, Sebastian started to say, but Evelyn hit him on the leg with the broom, making him cry out in pain. The twins immediately ran to their father. What are you doing, Mama? Are you my son? How dare you? Evelyn shouted, still glaring at Sebastian. She was surprised to see her grandchildren hugging him. Lola, stop, Luke said to his grandmother. Lola, stop. Our daddy is hurt, Lucas added. Evelyn's eyes narrowed at what her grandchildren said. What have you been telling my grandchildren? Why do they know you? She demanded, raising the broom to hit Sebastian again. Mama! Thea shouted, stopping Evelyn. Evelyn turned to her daughter. What are you doing? Why are you holding a broom? Were you going to hit Sebastian? Thea asked, firing off questions. This man just showed up, and I'm protecting my grandchildren. But he's already won them over, Evelyn said, still glaring at Sebastian. Lola, don't fight our daddy. He's not bad, Luke said. Yes, Lola. Daddy is kind, so don't be mad at him. Don't hit him again, Lucas said, pouting. Ma, did you hit Sebastian? Thea asked, shocked. She thought her mother was just scaring him, but she had actually hit him. What's it to you? Evelyn replied grumpily. Ma, calm down. Let's talk properly. Put the broom down, Thea said to her mother. Despite her curiosity about her daughter's actions, Evelyn set the broom aside but continued to glare at Sebastian, who stood next to the twins. What happened, child? Why is he here? Evelyn asked, pointing at Sebastian, who still looked nervous. Ma, Thea said. Evelyn rolled her eyes but listened to her daughter. After hearing Thea's explanation, Evelyn couldn't look Sebastian in the eye. Do you have something to say to Sebastian? Thea asked her mother. After a moment, Evelyn spoke. She regretted what she had done to Sebastian. She didn't know what had happened because it was her first time visiting her daughter and grandchildren. I'm sorry, son. I thought you didn't know what happened. I took my anger out on you because I was worried about Thea. You know what happened when she left you, Evelyn said to Sebastian. It's okay, Ma. I understand, Sebastian replied with a smile. Evelyn continued to apologize, and Sebastian accepted her apologies. He also apologized for what his parents had done to Thea. Thea, Sebastian called to her. They had just finished eating and were cleaning up together. The twins were in the living room with their cousins John and Julia. Is there a problem? Thea asked. Sebastian didn't speak immediately, looking nervous. Seb, Thea said. I was thinking maybe you and the kids could live in my house, Sebastian said directly, despite his nerves. Thea looked at him, not immediately replying. The kids can, but I can't. I have my own house, Thea said. even though she was already thinking about living together with Sebastian. "It's not a problem if you have a house, Thea. I just want to be with you and our kids," Sebastian said seriously. Sebastian looked into Thea's beautiful eyes, and she blushed, her heart racing. Sebastian still had a strong effect on her. "Seb, what are you trying to say?" Thea asked nervously, avoiding his gaze. "Are you worried about my parents?" "Don't be. They won't interfere in my decisions. I won't let you and the kids slip away again." "I won't let you go again," Sebastian said, looking at her. Thea's heart raced even faster at his words, trying to suppress her giddiness. They talked a bit more, and Thea finally made a decision. The next day, Thea packed their things. Her mother would stay at her house while she and the kids moved in with Sebastian. Ella was thrilled for her sister because Thea's family was finally complete. When they arrived at the big house, the twins were amazed by what they saw. Thea too was stunned. It looked familiar to her. "You like it?" Sebastian asked his family. "Yes, Daddy, it's beautiful," the twins said, smiling. "Is this?" Thea started to say, but Sebastian finished her sentence. "Your dream house," Sebastian said, smiling at Thea. Her heart raced even more, realizing Sebastian remembered their plans from when they were together. "It's beautiful," Thea said, still staring at the big house. "It really is," Sebastian said softly, his eyes focused on Thea. When they entered the house, Thea was even more amazed. Everything she had told Sebastian about her dream house was there, detailed and perfect. Thea didn't know what to say, overwhelmed by emotions. "Thank you, Seb," Thea said when their eyes met. Sebastian nodded and smiled at her, then gently stroked their children's hair. "Let's eat," Sebastian invited his family. Every day under one roof, Thea's feelings for her ex grew stronger. Although they lived together, Thea and Sebastian never discussed their relationship. They were happy with their children and had no problems. "Didn't you invite your parents?" Thea asked Sebastian. It was their children's birthday, and Thea was surprised that Sebastian's parents weren't there. "Thea, I don't want to ruin this day. It's our children's birthday, we shouldn't talk about them," Sebastian said. "They are your parents, Seb," Thea replied. "And they hurt you," Sebastian said. Thea couldn't respond. Soon more guests arrived and the birthday party began. Everyone was happy, especially the twins, who enjoyed their party with everyone present. Thea was talking and laughing with her sister Ella when Sebastian appeared. Ella excused herself, smiling teasingly at her sister. "Did you eat?" Sebastian asked Thea. "Of course, the food was delicious. I wouldn't waste it," Thea replied. "You're so pretty, Thea," Sebastian said, catching her off guard. "Why do you suddenly say things like that?" "I'm fragile, you know," Thea thought, trying to suppress her giddiness. "I'm telling the truth, Thea. You're always beautiful," Sebastian said, looking at her. "Do you like me?" Thea asked, raising an eyebrow, feeling bold from the wine or maybe just wanting to know the answer. "Yes, Thea, I like you. Actually, like isn't the right term. Ever since, I never stopped feeling this way. I still love you, Thea." "I love you so much," Sebastian said seriously, looking into her eyes. Thea's heart raced again at his words. "Wait, hold on," Thea said, trying to calm herself. "I feel like I'm going to faint from what you just said," she added, making Sebastian chuckle. "You see, Thea, I'm always sure when it comes to you," Sebastian said, smiling and leaning closer to her. Their lips met, and the guests cheered as if they were newlyweds. "Mommy, which is better, a sister or a brother?" Luke asked, nearly making Thea choke. They were at the pool area with Sebastian and Lucas swimming nearby. "I think both are nice to have, a sister and a brother," Thea replied, still stammering a bit. "Okay, Mommy. I want a baby brother and a baby sister," Luke said, clapping his hands. Sebastian and Lucas emerged from the pool, hearing what Luke said. "You want what, Luke?" Sebastian asked. "A sister and a brother. Lucas and I talked about it," Luke said calmly. Sebastian looked at Thea, who blushed. He grinned. "Okay, baby. You'll have a sister and a brother," Sebastian said confidently. Thea looked up at him, furrowing her brows. "Yay!" the twins said in unison, clearly happy and excited for their future siblings. Months later, Sebastian proposed to Thea. "Will you marry me?" Sebastian asked as Thea cried, nodding repeatedly. "Of course, Seb." "Yes," she said. Sebastian put the ring on her finger and kissed her. Their friends, Thea's family, and their children were thrilled that they were finally getting married. The wedding took place in a large church with close friends and some colleagues invited. Everyone was overjoyed that Thea and Sebastian were finally getting married. Emotions ran high during the couple's vows. After the wedding, Thea looked for Sebastian's parents, hoping they had come, but she didn't see them. As they were about to leave the church, a guest arrived. To everyone's surprise, it was Sebastian's father in a wheelchair. Sebastian cried, hugging his parents. "Thea, dear," Jackie Morales said to her son's wife. "I'm sorry, dear. Forgive me for what I did. I'm really sorry. I'm happy that you and my son are married. You really deserve each other, and I love you both very much," Jackie Morales said, crying as she hugged Thea. Thea introduced their children to Sebastian's parents, and it was evident how happy they were while talking to Luke and Lucas. Sebastian and Thea were thrilled, as they thought this moment would take much longer to happen, but it occurred on their wedding day. As days passed after Thea and Sebastian's wedding, they continued to show their love for each other and their children. "Mommy, Daddy, Merry Christmas," Luke and Lucas said, smiling at their parents. "Merry Christmas, my babies," Thea said to her children, kissing them and handing them their gifts. "Merry Christmas, sons," Sebastian said, also giving gifts to his children. The twins were delighted with their presents from their parents. Thea held her husband's hand. "I also have a gift for you, love," Thea said, smiling. Sebastian got excited. Thea took a small box from under the Christmas tree and handed it to Sebastian. He opened it and his eyes widened at the contents. "Is this for real?" Sebastian asked, excited and nervous. "Yes, love," Thea said, laughing. "Gosh, I love you. I love you," Sebastian said, tears in his eyes as he hugged and kissed Thea. "Merry Christmas, love. You're going to be a dad again," Thea said, smiling. Sebastian hugged her even tighter. "We're going to have siblings," the twins said together, joining the family hug. Their joy tripled when they found out Thea was expecting triplets. The couple happily welcomed their newborns, along with their twins. The marriage of Thea Beltran Morales and Sebastian Morales flourished as they lived happily with their children. The end. Thank you very much for listening to our story today. Shout out to Ma'am Rosemary Corpus from San Fernando, La Union, the Very family, the Tubilon family, Des Togas from Hong Kong, Jean Rose Quinto from Bago City, Negros Occidental, and Renee from South Cotabato. Thank you all for your unwavering support. Stay tuned for more stories filled with lessons, love, and inspiration, right here on Heartstrings Stories.